So yeah, it feels like I ain't done a video for Kynakinesis for a while. So today I'm going to speak about channeling and how you can connect with yourself and the higher vibrations, so the higher self, and also the low vibrations like beings upon earth. So I'll catch you after this intro. So welcome back. My name's Em. I'm from Kynakinesis, where we learn together and we grow together in the sight of God. So today, as I said, I'm going to speak about how you can connect with your higher vibration and also your lower vibration, and this is called channeling. So but there are important parts of channeling I want to make you quite aware of that you should follow in order to keep yourself safe, because there is different aspects of channeling that a lot of people don't actually teach and tell you that could actually mess with your head and can cause in some ways some mental health issues, or if you have mental health or if you're suffering or borderline, it's going to affect you in that way. So I just want to make sure that you guys are safe and know how to do it properly, which I've seen other videos just blurt it out and don't tell you exactly how to be safe before you start delving into this new world. In fact, it is a new world. It is something which we don't connect with all the time. It's something when we go to sleep, we then move over to the other world and we do connect to that level, but in that sense already we're kind of safe. But what's important about when you're connecting with the high vibrations and the low vibrations, and you're using your spirit to leave this body in order to connect with them, or you're just inviting them in, you just won't invite any just random stranger, would you? So it's important that you protect your home, or protect yourself, which is your home, when you're doing this work. So first thing I wanted to say, with which I'm going to be regurgitate and speak about a bit later on, is about protection. So protection, simple, it's really quite basic and something you can do. It's about visualization. Is to surround yourself in white light. Imagine like you are in an egg or you're in a bubble, and surround yourself with white light, and once you're in that white light, that's where you're protected. The other thing is, you can also, if you've got a guide that you work with, you can ask your guide to step forward to support you while you're doing your training. This is what it is. Or you can also use yellow for protection as well, in order to keep you safe as well. You can also use mirrors, so you can use them, surround yourself with mirrors. Make sure the mirror's on the outside as opposed to on the inside to you, because it's just negative. So when you're looking through mirrors, make sure the mirror's up on it outwards, so the reflection's on the outside. That way it keeps you safe. Whatever they try to do will repel back onto that person who tries to do you. All said and done, all protection in place, I'm going to teach you and show you the correct way of talking and connecting with the higher vibrations and the lower vibrations. So let's get into it. So a lot of time is when people start connecting with their higher vibrations. Right, let me just explain what the high vibration is and the lower vibration is. The lower vibration is anybody who has a soul on this planet. So you could be talking to babies, animals, anything like that, or any animals, fishes, anything to do that has a soul that you can automatically connect with. So that's an important aspect of the lower vibration. And it's also connecting with people on this planet. When you're going to visit someone on this planet, that is a lower vibration because it's not on a higher plane. So if you're connecting with a higher vibration, we're speaking about ascended masters like angels, aliens, things of that nature. When you get into different places, I'm going to give you some guide, the masters that you can connect with, which it will keep you safe. And remember, as I mentioned earlier, about protection, because when you're connecting with guides and you just put it out there, and I'll explain when I'm talking about high vibrations, when you're putting it out there, you don't know, it's just like opening up the door to any random person, so you need to be careful. So without said and done, let's just get on and let's get into it. The first thing you need to do is open your third eye. So your third eye is based here, which is in the middle of your forehead between your eyebrows. So that connection, if you see the Cyclops, that's exactly how it looks. It's the third eye sees everything that is clairvoyant. So clairvoyant sees things in the future, past and present, and sees things in a different vibration. You also want to open up your crown. So when you open up your crown, you can open up your heart chakra as well and your throat chakra, but these two are high. If you're connected with higher vibration, you start opening up with your crown. So we'll come back to that. Let's start talking about this level of speaking on a lower vibration. So low vibration is, again, as I said, beings on earth. So you want to open up your mind's eye. Your mind's eye is open, and what you want to do, if you got, let's use let me give you two examples. The first example, I want to speak about a pet, like a dog or a cat. Let's just go with a dog, because dog seems to be more receptive, or horses are very receptive to linking with humans on that vibrational level. So when you've got an animal, or let's say a dog, so your pet comes over, sits next to you, make sure that they're comfortable. You know them better than anybody else. So when you're connecting with them, make sure that you can stroke them where they feel, until they feel relaxed, and you feel relaxed. So you can kind of just say, kind of like the general words to your pet, like and name of your animal, name of your animal, name of your pet, name of your pet, how you feeling, and just kind of go in that like subtle tone. The other thing is, well, I do this with my grandkids, especially when they're born. So is either stroke their face, and then you just go and you say your name, and then you say their name, and then they just have this eye contact with you. When you're talking to another human, or you're talking to a child, that is a connection you have when you look and they look at you or turn and give you eye contact. When the animal or your pet gives you the eye contact as well, or comes to lays on you, that means that you kind of triggered them, and you've moved into their realm, and they are on the same wave level as you, that frequency. If they're not, and they decided to go, what the hell, you're boring me, and they're bored, and they walk off, which sometimes they do, be persistent, follow it through, but don't force it. Do not force it. Do not force them to stay there, because obviously this is about, it's like water. It has to flow. It has to be natural. You can't just be forced to make sure that they do what you want them to do. They should be invited to take that action, to follow you and to be with you in that time. So you need to give them the benefit of the doubt and allow them to come to you. It's about kind of like putting out the breadcrumbs and offering them like the bits of food or the treats for them to move forward, to be within your space. So that is the other important thing you need to be aware of. If they walk off and they don't want to interact with you, and it happens numerous times, just leave them. And when you catch them, when they are close to you, then do it and let them come to you. Don't, again, as I said, don't try and get them to follow you, because they are not communicating on our frequency, on a human frequency, remember. Though they live on the same planet or the dimension as us, they don't connect in verbally with us. So just be aware of that. So let's speak about communication with your higher frequency. The higher frequency is the angels, the ascended masters, the aliens, things of that nature that is not within this dimension. So now let me just roughly explain. When people talk about dimensions, and though despite we are in this dimension, people will class another dimension, a human dimension, as a baseline dimension. It's not. If you've got a dimension is not of this realm. Okay, so anything you can see, feel, touch, taste around us now is in our dimension. So it's on our frequency, our lower vibration frequency. If you can't see it, a dream is on another frequency, so therefore is on a higher plane, is a message that comes forward. So that is what I'm speaking about when I talk about the high frequencies. So let's use an angel as an example. So an angel is a high frequency, which it could be an ascended master. So similar to when you're talking to your pet, the difference is, remember I said about your connection, because we are opening up to a higher frequency, you're inviting this individual in to come into your space. So you must make sure that that being that's coming in is of God's light. Now, most beings that come forward or step forward and can be bothered coming forward are normally pretty okay, even the ones that just want to cause havoc. But you can generally tell that if they're really there to just be a nuisance, but just be mindful of who you're inviting in. Again, go through the protection process, light and white light, the mirror, and also don't forget you can use the gold light as well, and you can use your guide. So even if you've got a guide and you want to connect with another guide, you can do that. So if your guide's with you, you can connect to near enough anybody, or just try and tap into that frequency of that being. Now, receiving the energy, or when they are speaking, that's down to you to turn around and kind of identify whether you feel it's making sense. Sometimes it doesn't, and it seems like gobbledygook, and you're thinking, what the hell is that about? But most of the time it probably won't, because remember, they're talking from a different frequency, and their energies that are coming down trying to be translated into this realm is very vastly different. So we need to try and make sure that our connection is trustworthy. So when they're speaking to us, take on board what they're saying, and then just kind of like write it down and kind of link with it. And if it doesn't make sense just yet, it may be later on that it makes sense, like within a year, 2 years, 3 years, even 5 years. People have channeled years ago. I mean, I'm talking probably 10, 15 years ago. What they were telling me then is happening now, and they are on such a frequency. A couple of people I've been working with, and still do actually, is my main, as you know, my main guide is Ateos, and then you got my grandfather, which is Chief. Ateos is one of the 24 elders that sit around the realms of God, that sits around this, the throne of God. And the other one that I channel is Thoth. Thoth is an Atlantean king, and also a Egyptian king as well, so a pharaoh. So he would have done the hieroglyphics, and I've channeled him a lot of the time, and he taught me with my books, and he's taught me with my development of my consciousness and unconsciousness. So they're kind of people you can work with. There's a couple of others as well. I'm going to put some names down below and kind of put some links where you can go with. They're pretty good to kind of work with. When I mentioned about Taurus, is the kind of like the knowledge based one, so they'll be the ones coming in to kind of like guide you and teach you. You probably come across some reptilians as well. I know this sounds a bit far-fetched to see, to believe, but you sometimes do get reptilians that come forward. Normally they kind of not come as themselves, they come as another energy or another manifestation, and then when they get to know you and trust you, then they start revealing themselves to you about exactly who they are and what they look like. Because if they came in looking as they do, you may be obviously fearful, may think it's some dark energy, you might have fears around those things, but you know what, all they're just here to give you love. And remember, these energies are coming to teach you and to guide you. So that's what's important about, obviously, if you're channeling, is that you're stepping into their world. Remember, you're not our world. You're asking them to come into, you're going to their world, asking them to come into ours. So what they come with, and then you start getting your nose out of joint about, you know, have some respect when you're working, because these beings are around for thousands, hundreds and millions of thousands of years, way before this planet was created. So have respect. That's all I say. Have respect when you communicate with them, because they will put you in your place if they're working with you, and if they try and if you invite them in. Imagine if you was invited to somebody's house, and then you went round there, and you wanted to they wanted you to teach them something, and then they just were like rude or arrogant or whatever. You wouldn't like it. So just treat it the same. And I know most people are pretty okay, and people I've spoken to or communicate with me, who out there obviously see my videos and where I kind of like teach and work with, are pretty much okay when they connect with the higher frequencies. So I'm not really concerned about anyone else that sees that, who may not obviously just want to delve into it for the first time. Just make sure that you keep yourself safe, and that you're doing the right thing, and you have the right intentions in place. Before I round out, I just want to just let you know again that this is about enjoyment, having fun with it, learning, and balancing yourself, and just kind of like learning a different way of working. Because when you are communicating with them, and then you've kind of worked on this plane for a while, and you start wanting to tap into the higher frequencies because you've done the baseline work, things does shift, and your life does shift in a probably more of a positive way than a negative. So just be mindful about the different changes that could happen to you. Other thing I always tell when I say, and I always do, is make sure that every time you've worked and done some form of channeling, make sure that you drink a pint of water. That's important. Make sure, because it's about grounding yourself, because what happens is your energies vibrate and rise. Because you with all energy, we start rising, and the molecules and the atoms in us start really messing together, and then you probably find you get really hot and really warm. So once you reach that frequency, and almost like you're a boiling point, when you come out of it, you need to drink water in order to kind of like burn out that negative energy, and that will wash away as well any toxic energy that you may have come across when you're going through to the different dimensions. So yeah, that's it for me, from another video from me. So I'll see you in my next video. Look, stay safe and look after yourself, and I'll see you in my next video. Namaste.